Hi, and welcome to Undoomed, a channel dedicated to exposing stupidity everywhere. So, let me ask you this. How can a popular YouTuber like Steve Shives get away with lying and just making shit up?
Hey, so I recently held a poll with my Patreon patrons to choose which previous 5 Stupid Things topics I should revisit.
Okay, so you're a media whore that will do anything to get more viewers. Got it.
Here are 5 more stupid things about the men's rights movement.
Okay, go on.
Selective acceptance. Men's rights activists don't typically exhibit terribly positive attitudes toward women.
Oh, you mean as opposed to kill all men and die cis scum?
But there are exceptions. For example, women who agree with them that feminism is at best unnecessary and at worst oppressive and misandrist. Or, no, you know what? That's it.
Oh, buddy, if there ever was a straw man, that's it.
Women who reject feminism are highly favored by MRAs. They're held up as evidence that theirs is a legitimate ideology based on facts and reasonable assumptions.
Facts and reasonable assumptions. Funny how you should mention that while having a photoshopped picture behind you. Let's take a look at the real thing, shall we? So what you're saying is that you couldn't find a single image of a so-called MRA woman saying something that you would consider stupid. So instead you had to Photoshop and lie.
Not a hate movement based on projection, fears of inadequacy, and unhinged misogyny.
Projection? Yeah, that's funny. And I'm sorry I have to tell you this, but having an opposing view does not make you a bad person or a hate movement. Come on. Poisoning the wells, strawmans, get a grip, for Christ's sake.
If MRAs hate women so much, why are there women who agree with them?
Yeah, why is that, Professor?
Funny how that same logic doesn't seem to apply to men who support feminism.
Yeah, maybe that's because, like you said in the intro, you're just a media whore who just wants more viewers.
Dishonest denial. One of the most interesting phenomena surrounding the men's rights movement is how many men will strenuously deny having any association with it.
Listen, buddy, I don't care if you want to call me an MRA or not. I'm just expressing my opinion. If other people agree with me, that's up to them.
And really, who can blame them? The men's rights movement is so toxic, so obviously fueled by bigotry and male insecurity that even people who agree with everything MRAs typically say don't want to be taken for one.
First of all, citation needed. And secondly, maybe they don't want to be associated because it in itself is associated with feminism, and who wants to be associated with that?
Luckily, if you're a guy who is sick and tired of being called an MRA when you're not one, there's a real easy fix. Just stop being such a sexist crybaby.
Crybaby. Really? This from the organization that wants to have trigger warnings on everything and safe spaces for women, along with about a gazillion crybaby messages on Twitter each and every day. Ever heard that thing about not throwing stones in glass houses?
Harassment of critics. The men's rights movement is reactionary by its very nature. It lashes out at women and feminists in particular.
Oh, so you mean feminism doesn't do that? Really? So I guess no one has been utterly humiliated and harassed on Twitter by feminists? Oh wait, what about that guy who actually landed a fucking spaceship on a comet and was driven to tears by feminists for wearing a fucking shirt?
Feminist writers and activists are deluged with hate mail and death threats from outraged men.
Yeah, like I said, if you think your side is better, then you're just fucking stupid. The feminist hate mob is a well-known occurrence. There are retards on both sides.
Some, like Lindy West or Anita Sarkeesian, are arguably better known for being victims of misogynist harassment than for their actual work.
Well, I'm so glad you brought it up, because that's exactly what Anita Sarkeesian is known for. I mean, she is the poster girl for hypocrisy. How about those nice videos on tropes against women in video games, where women always need rescuing from men, and then refusing to show up unless she gets 2 beefy male bodyguards? A damsel in distress indeed. And the best part is, every time she brings this up, she makes more money.
Others have been driven from the public sphere altogether, which is understandable, but is also a terrible shame, because that's what the harassers want.
Oh, so let me ask you this. When was the last time anyone ever got fired for speaking out against an MRA? Because as you know, a boatload of people have gotten fired after the feminist hate mob descended on them. And no, speaking out against feminism is not a reason to get fired.
Unable to intelligently answer their critics, they attempt to intimidate them into silence.
Wow, that is Poe's law in action. I don't really know if you mean feminists or MRAs right now.
And when that doesn't work, when they are unable to overwhelm feminists with the sheer force of abuse.
I really wish there was like a song called Mr. Strawman that I could play here.
Derailment and distraction. Many MRAs engage in a sort of troll guerrilla warfare, infiltrating the comment sections of articles and videos that deal with women's issues.
Oh, you mean exactly what the feminists do.
Posting responses designed to paralyze discussion with irrelevant bickering.
Well, I'm pretty sure that if you think the MRA point of view is irrelevant bickering, they think the same thing about you.
Demands that feminists identify legal rights available to men but not to women are common.
Well, of course that's common. No one can ever answer that question, so why wouldn't it be?
There's also the ever-popular appeal to bigger problems, in which the MRA will express his dismay that feminists aren't more concerned with the plight of women in developing countries or the Muslim world.
Well, not to rain on your parade or anything, but it is kind of an interesting question why the most misogynist religion in the world has been taken under the wings of feminists, isn't it?
It's not that he gives a shit about those women.
Oh, really? You know that? You're a telepath now?
He just thinks that feminists should worry more about them and leave sexist American assholes like him alone.
Well, to quote Mr. Defense from Falling Down, I'm an American, and you're just a sick asshole. But enough with the movie trailer guy. But you actually raise an interesting point there. Why don't feminists care more about that? I figured it out. It's not so sexy on Twitter.
It's hard to get more disgusting and inexcusable than rape apology.
Well, then it's a good thing that society never ever excuses rape, as it should be.
Men's rights activists attempt to minimize or dismiss concerns about rape in a variety of ways, ignoring the existence of acquaintance and spousal rape.
Give me a break. If anyone said that, they're retards and you don't need to listen to them.
Blaming rape victims for being promiscuous or dressing too provocatively.
You know what? I think you're talking about lawyers, not MRAs.
Spreading fear and paranoia about a non-existent epidemic of false rape allegations.
I hope you understand that all democratic countries have this thing called innocent until proven guilty. So the only thing that matters, whether there are false allegations or not, is what you can prove.
And generally acting as though making rape an easier crime for men to get away with is their primary goal, which it is.
Hey, moron! Fucking moron! We've been over this! Do you honestly think that there is a group of millions of men around the world whose goal is to make rape easier? No, of course you don't believe that. You're just out walking the straw man again.
This is not a civil rights movement as it claims to be. This is a hate group.
For fuck's sakes, you guys. What are you, like Napoleon? You just declare victory and go home? It is not a hate movement just because you say so.
Populated by resentful failures too weak to carry their own baggage.
Oh wow, you know all of them? I don't know a single one of them, but okay.
They're some of the most pathetic human beings known to me, and their only redeeming quality is that they're so much damn fun to smack around.
No, yeah, I've seen you smack around, alright. I've seen your responses, buddy. And like any other feminist, as soon as you get a valid question, the only thing you do is to say, it's not my responsibility to educate you, and then block them. Very heroic.
Which is fitting, since most of them seem to think that's all women are good for.
Most of them. Really? Okay, I know you're just an attention whore who wants more viewers, but still, that's retarded.
The hardest part is only picking 5.
Yep, that's why I didn't restrict myself to an arbitrary number.